What's good, everybody? It's your host, Chris. Thank you guys for listening to Tune Check episode 10. On this episode, we're going to keep it like every other one, talk about some news, some singles, and then our album reviews at the end. This episode is going to be real short, so let's just get right into it. So, our first piece of news revolves Nipsey Hussle. Victory Lap becomes his first album to hit 1 billion Spotify streams. That's fire, you know. I love that. I love that people still listen to him till this day, you know, rest in peace. I feel like if he was around, he probably would have done a lot more for music. Shout out to everybody that still runs him up. You know, I still listen to him now and then. His music is honestly timeless in my opinion. And then in regards to another accomplishment, we got Big Sean. His song Deep Reverence, which features Nipsey Hussle, also was certified gold by RIAA. Deep Reverence is a really good song. That was from his last album, Detroit 2. So if you haven't heard that song or that album or any Nipsey Hussle albums or tracks, go listen to them. But I'm mad as hell that Big Sean did not drop last week. Like I was waiting for that album. I think it's because his album possibly got leaked, but I hate when people leak things. I know sometimes I feel like the artist probably leaks stuff too, but I haven't seen anything in regards to his album out, like any songs or anything or any leaks like that. But it sucks that it got pushed back. I'm hoping it comes out the end of this month or maybe next month, but we'll see. Hopefully it's real soon. And then in regards to another accomplishment, we got Post Malone and 21 Savage. Their song Rockstar hit 3 billion streams on Spotify. This is currently the first hip hop song to reach this milestone. That's dope as fuck. I remember when this song came out, everybody was listening to it. I think this is dope. I remember when this song came out, everybody was listening to it. I heard it everywhere. And I think this is probably one of Post Malone's best songs. It's definitely a classic. I don't care what nobody says. Like, if you play it right now, everybody's gonna jam to it. Everybody's gonna bump their heads. Like, and it's always gonna set the mood anywhere. And then after that, we got some news revolving Travis Scott. So earlier this week, I don't remember exactly what place he was at, but he was leaving his hotel and there was like a little kid, you know, in front of the gates where he was walking by. There's some mixed feelings about this interaction because some people are mad at Travis for pretty much moving the kid's hand away from him. And then other people are like, you know, artists have boundaries, there's personal space. The kid kind of invaded that. And when you look at the video, you could see that like as soon as Travis opens the gate, the kid he just pretty much puts his hand like around his waist, like I guess grabbing his pocket. And Travis just moves his hand away, but he still takes the picture with him though. He still, you know, does the video and everything as he's walking away, you know, puts his thumbs up and all that. But I mean, I respect it because at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. I feel like a lot of people forget that artists are still human beings, you know, like, you know, personal space matters. I wouldn't want somebody to just invade my space as soon as I walk out of something, you know. Given they are celebrities and that lifestyle comes with all of that, as a fan and as a person, you should just respect not putting your hands on somebody when they don't want to, or in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want nobody just coming up to you and just touching you, you know? I definitely agree with Travis. Like, I wouldn't want somebody to just randomly put their hands on me. We could take a picture, just ask me for it, but don't do all this extra stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't like how people are attacking him for, you know, moving the kid's hand away. And he still took the picture, so I don't understand why people are complaining about. I thought it was very weird. I thought it was a weird take from some social media people and like some articles I read, especially from some other rappers too. And then lastly, we have Tyler the Creator. He pretty much had an interview last week and he was saying some things, you know. He spoke about the current state of hip hop. He pretty much was saying that, oh, there's not really any real musicians out, like artists in the hip hop. Everybody just wants to make, you know, TikTok songs and just blow up that way. There's no real art in it and he doesn't like it. Then he talks about the artist Ian and he said this white kid, you know, regular Caucasian man, and he's like mocking Future and Gucci Mane. And then the person who signed, and then the person who signed Ian pretty much went on social media and said, "Hey, he doesn't sound nothing like Future or Gucci Mane. It's called influence." But I never thought I'd see the day where you became old and hate on the youth. But I feel like that's just anybody in general. I feel like the older we get, we just looking at the younger people and we're just like, what are you guys doing? I feel like that's just a common thing with any age. I feel like they're gonna do that to the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I do get where, you know, he was coming from, and I do understand Tyler in a way too. I feel like a lot of people do. You know, TikTok definitely not really just well, mostly TikTok, but social media also ruined music like hip hop, R&B, and all that. Because people really just aim for these TikTok sounds, and they don't really care about putting any substance into nothing. They just want to get TikTok famous and get rich just by making like a meme or background music for a meme or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool and all, but that's why most of these artists aren't really selling out like that, I believe. Or there's so many other good artists that like nobody's really paying attention to. For example, like Tinashe, like ever since she's been in the game, she's been doing fire, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like the song Nasty, it blew up a lot and everybody started watching her a little bit more because of TikTok. I mean, it benefited her in the long run, but I just hate that it took TikTok get her noticed when she's been around so long, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I kind of understand that in that perspective. But then again, like, people really do be hating on younger people sometimes. They don't really want to give them like a chance. Sometimes some of these newer artists actually do make good music. Like most of the albums that I've been talking about recently are from like artists that are a little younger than the ones that we already know about and stuff. And it's hard to distinguish some of them because they all sound the same, but then there is those few artists that do make great music and make their own style and everything. But let me stop rambling. So later into the interview, Tyler also spoke about Eminem. He was saying that he saw a Netflix show called Painkillers and that it made him feel bad because when Recovery came out, which is an Eminem album that came out in 2010, that was one of my favorite albums from him. He said that he hated it, that he disliked it, but him watching Painkillers made him feel bad because he was able to understand what Eminem was going through because Eminem had an addiction, to pills and everything. He went to rehab for it, he went to rehab for it, and that was the theme about recovery. And Tyler issued an apology basically, like, hey, I'm sorry. Pretty much just apologize for how he went about that. Apologize to Eminem for him feeling like he was disrespected and all that. And I fuck with it. I like when people accept that they are wrong and that they're able to say that they're wrong. Especially like if you're a celebrity, he said it. And I'm pretty sure Eminem heard it and I feel like he probably reached out to him afterwards maybe, but he also ended up speaking about Supreme. I don't remember if this is the same interview or if it's another interview, but I thought it was important to talk about because it's facts what he said. He said that at ages 16, 17, 18, and 19, Supreme was our Louis Vuitton. And I agree because I remember in high school, everybody was wearing Supreme like crazy. They had Supreme sweaters, hats, beanies, shirts, you know what I'm saying? Like to this day, like people still wear Supreme a lot. And I honestly think it was true. Like there's a lot of Supreme stuff that I thought was dope growing up and I still think it's dope now. Like I got some shit in my cart on some app from Supreme. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit is tough. But that's it for our news. We're just gonna get into the singles now. So the first single I want to talk about is from Cash Cobain. It's called Problems. I was hyped for this song, like I thought it was gonna be fire. And he got 14 features on this song, and I don't even want to name all of them because that is just crazy, bro. Like, why you got so many features on it? You know what I'm saying? And it's like 7 minutes, and it's just not really nothing to talk about. Like, I remember people was gassing it up and saying stuff before it released, but when it actually came out, I didn't really hear nobody say nothing about it. So like, I feel like he just did too much. And also considering that people now have a short attention span, nobody's about to listen to a 7 minute song. But that's just wild. Like I feel like he just used all his budget for his album on these 14 features. His album's coming out soon, so hopefully it sounds good. He kind of disappointed me on his double XL feature. He really did trash on that shit. I don't know why the fuck they had him there, but they should have just had Lil Mabu instead of him, because Lil Mabu was crazy with that diss track. But that's a conversation for another time. The next single is from Molly Santana. It's called Windows Up. I like this a lot. It started off like a pop dance kind of thing, and then it transitions to like a whole trap record. I loved her voice on it. I loved the delivery. Her flow on this song was great. It kind of sounded like a mix of Yeet because of the voice, and also a mix of Lil Uzi, but I was fucking with it. I thought it was dope, so go listen to it. Then next we got Chance the Rapper featuring Joey Perp. They went off on this track. Joey Perp, he did his thing on this song. I think he did better than Chance. This is one of those songs where the feature outshines the artist and it was fire. Chance has been doing his thing though. Like his recent singles have been real fire. And I feel like he's really making a comeback because I think his last shit, what was it? Coloring book or something? I don't even remember what it was. That's how bad it was. It wasn't that great. And then I think he released an album after that too, and that shit was trash. But I'm happy he's making a comeback. I'm happy he's putting like real work into his shit, come back with some heat because that's what we need from him. That's what he needs to revive his career again because he did fall off. But shout out to Chance. Hopefully, this album he's dropping comes out real soon. And then the next single we got is from Mexican OT, Currency and Les, 1982. I love this song, man. Mexican OT is another artist that's been doing his thing recently. His mixtape from earlier this year was fire. He's killing it with features, especially on Denzel's album, Black Flag, that was fire. His double XL freestyle was the best one out of the whole freshman class. And I feel like he's going to become a bigger artist because his style is so unique. And I'm excited to see what's up. But this song was fire. I love the beat that they rapped over. It was like a real nice, simple rap beat, like nothing crazy. And Currency and Les, they did their thing too. They added so much to the song. This was a solid collaboration. So go listen to it, go run it up. And then last, we got Big Sean. He did drop a gem. Him and The Alchemist, they dropped Together Forever. And this has me a little bit more excited for Sean's album. And like I said before, I hope it doesn't get pushed back. But this song was fire. He raps over like a nice soulful beat, and he talks about a few themes in regards to his family, relationships, self-confidence. Like I said before, I think these themes are going to be consistent throughout his album. I remember his last two albums were kind of similar to this. He kind of rapped about the same things, but he kept it interesting and he switched it up a little bit. But that's it for the news. Now we're going to get into our album reviews. Alright, so the first one we're gonna get into is Trey Loaded. This is gonna be quick. It's 12 songs, 29 minutes. The only feature on this is the Mexican OT. My favorite songs is Lamb Chop, Don't Panic, Another Whip, and The Ticket. I thought this was cool. I love the beats on here. I love the production. I feel like those are the things that really made me like it overall. The only real high note for me, aside from the beats and the production, was that Mexican OT was a feature. Each track was hard. It was fire overall. Like I said, it was a good project, but he doesn't really switch up his flow too much. And it starts sounding repetitive after like track 4 or 5. The only reason why I didn't just stop there and just was like, nah, this is ass, was because of the beat and the production. And like I said, Mexican OT did his thing on this too. So I was like, let me just push through it. But overall, it was cool. Just if you want to go listen to it, go ahead and listen to it, run it up, and let me know what you guys think. And then next, we got an EP. It's called Northside from Paris. 7 songs, 18 minutes. The features here are Roy Woods and MB Nell. My favorite songs is Take the Lead, Northside B&B, Me and Mines in Fourth Quarter. I thought this was dope. Like it kind of sounded more like a trap and beat than it did rap because he was really out here singing and shit on some of his songs, like that rap sing shit. And honestly, this whole thing reminded me of PNB Rock. Like every track, it was just PNB Rock, PNB Rock, PNB Rock. I feel like he was an influence for this artist, maybe. It definitely sounded like a PNB Rock project, and I thought that was dope. RIP PNB. It did get a little repetitive, but that was like towards, I think, like track 5. Mind you, it's only 7 tracks, so it's nothing too crazy. And it only got repetitive to me because like it kind of did sound the same after a while, the way he was like flowing into everything. But that was like towards the end. I feel like I'm just nitpicking maybe, but it is what it is. But overall, this was pretty fire. I love the beats. I love how he carries himself on each one. The features were great too. Even though it's two, they were placed on the perfect songs. Like him and Roy Woods, they really did their thing together. I thought that was a solid song. But go listen to it. Go check it out for yourselves. Treat yourself to this. Then next we got All Things Aside by Sunreal. 11 songs, 31 minutes. There's no features on this. My favorite songs is All Things Aside, Desire, Bandwidth 2.0, Take 5, Calm Down, and Viral Moment Freestyle. I thought this was a little interesting. It started off like real moody and like a little dark and stuff. It was giving me like NF kind of vibes. But then the second track or the third track, it kind of switches to like these pop rap songs. Like he has like 2 pop rap songs on here, Desire and Carry On. So Desire is one of them and then Carry On is the other one. As I was listening to this whole thing and towards the end, I was just like, damn, this guy sounds a lot like Logic. They got a lot of like similar things in their style in regards to the production and the raps. Like his production definitely sounds like Logic's type shit. And the way he just raps too. There's some gospel elements here on the song called Already Won. And then he was rap singing sometimes too on Calm Down. That's when he was rap singing. Then there's this song called You and Me. That was like a full blown Logic song. That reminded me of Metropolis from his Under Pressure album. So go listen to that and then listen to this song. And I think it's really just because of the beat, like the hi hats and shit. But like I said earlier, it starts off dark and moody, and the theme is consistent throughout. He gets really personal about the stuff that he was rapping about and shit. And I think that was fire. But the way he just set up the whole thing and the track listing, I thought that was pretty good. It was real consistent, like I said. And the beats are dope. Like his beats is crazy as fuck. Like they was fire as hell. So please go listen to this. And then the last rap project that I'm gonna talk about is Just Read Up 3, YG, 19 songs, 55 minutes. His features are Mustard, Baby Stone Gorillas, Jay Anderson, Sweetie, Larry June, Diamond Platinums, Callan For Real, Ty Dolla Sign, T Grizzly, G Herbo, Mozzie, Act Right, Lil Yachty, Babyface Ray. So my favorite songs is right now Street Love, Her Way, It's Given, Malibu, Rescue Me, and Naka. Naka's the best song on this. Ever since I heard Naka as a single when it came out like a while back, I thought that shit was fire. I love YG. It's dope when he fuses like that Latin shit into his rap. I thought that was dope as fuck. So Naka's my favorite song. Just letting y'all know. That's like my real favorite song. Out of everyone, that's the best one. But let me get back to this. As an artist, I always feel like YG has been consistent with his creativity, but I feel like on this project it kind of lacked a little bit. Overall, like it was pretty dope. I like the features. I like what he was trying to go for here. It was a pretty good effort. The beats on here are obviously California inspired. He has a few club songs here too. Some R&B inspired beats as well. YG has always been confident as a rapper. You could always hear that shit in his music, in his raps, the way he just flows. And that's just something that's been consistent throughout this entire mixtape. And even on his other projects, which is dope. But due to that, I feel like he sounds a bit repetitive at times. Just a little bit. He doesn't really switch it up or show some vulnerability at times, and I feel like he needs to do that at least maybe like once in a while. I feel like this is what it needed maybe. He has a lot of features on here, and they all did a great job, and they added a lot to this mixtape. Especially Ty Dolla Sign. He's been killing it recently, especially with Vultures. Like I said on my previous episodes, Ty Dolla Sign's been doing his thing, and I feel like maybe it's time for Ty Dolla Sign to actually drop like a album on his own. Hopefully he does, or maybe a mixtape. But we'll see what happens. But back to this review. Overall, I felt like the third installment into the series, it was a bit of a miss. Like I said, it's good, but it's not like something that's gonna be talked about for a while or in the moment right now. I feel like he kind of maybe rushed it, or it just wasn't sounding right. It just, I don't know. It was just like, wow, it's just like a one listen kind of thing. I don't really see nobody replaying this or hearing any other songs like that. Like towards, I believe, maybe the middle, it started getting a little boring. It was just real repetitive. And like I said, I think YG is a dope artist, and it sucks that this didn't really deliver what it was supposed to. I was just expecting a little more, and I feel like there are a few fans that could agree with me because I haven't really seen it being talked about that much. But, if you guys disagree with what I'm saying, let me know. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. And I would like to hear, everybody's thoughts and opinions. But, we're done with rap, so let's get into the R&B. We only got like two R&B projects really. So we're gonna start with Essie's World. This is an EP. It's from Esosa. 6 songs, 17 minutes. I thought this EP was fire. I loved the late 90s and early 2000s R&B sound she went for. The track listing was great. Her voice is amazing. The production here was really good too. She was giving me a mix of Aaliyah and Chloe at times. The way she was singing and how like she presented herself on these tracks and her delivery. For example, on Only One, which is like a dance kind of R&B song, she reminded me of Chloe. The way that she just went about it and everything, to the voice, to how she was singing it, to what the song was about. Like it really was giving me Chloe vibes. I'm like, damn, like this really sounds like a song that could be for her. Then on the song Spin the Block and Waste My Time, those reminded me of Aaliyah because of the older R&B style she was conveying and the way she just went about it. And it definitely stuck out for me because of that. But overall, this whole EP was just really good. Like I said before, R&B artists this year have really been doing a thing, like definitely better than the last couple years. And there's been some like newer R&B artists too that's been coming out doing their thing. So shout out to everyone that's contributing to this genre. You guys are really holding it down and providing stuff that it's been missing. So thank you for that. And then last, we got Quantum Baby from Tinashe. 8 songs, 22 minutes. There's no features on here. My favorite songs was Thirsty and Red Flags. This was a quick listen too. It had a lot of pop and club elements with a mix of some 90s sounds. Like she was able to take all of those and infuse this modern trap sound onto this album, which was dope as fuck. This album is honestly basically just about romance. She tackles a lot of aspects in regards to this. For example, like from being insecure to being seductive, lustful, to hopeful. these all tie into romance. Like tracks like Red Flags, When I Get You Alone, they give Janet Jackson vibes, but it goes from being insecure to, lustful. And overall, the theme was consistent throughout this entire thing. Even though it was very short, she really did a great job of just exploring each aspect. And then at the end, she put her song Nasty, and I think that was smart of her to do. Like I said earlier in this episode, that song really just helped skyrocket her career a little bit more because that shit took over TikTok, took over social media with memes. Even to this day, like people still do memes about it. I still see it everywhere when I'm scrolling. And I feel like she really did take advantage of that and capitalize off of it. So shout out to her. I'm happy that she's getting this, attention. I'm happy people are acknowledging her a little bit more. I feel like she's always been underrated. Now she has a chance to actually like show what the fuck she got, and I feel like that's what she's gonna do and keep doing. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, this episode is gonna be real short. But thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any other opinions about any of the songs, any other albums, let me know. Go listen to them if you haven't. Go treat yourself. Go have a good time. I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you guys for listening and stay tuned for the next episode. Peace.